So the ball arm and the sleeve arm are given, that is y and x. Then the distance from the fulcrum point is given, that is 120 millimeter, and mass of the ball is given 2.5 kg. The ball arms are equal or parallel to the governor axis at the lowest equilibrium speed, right? So we are interested in finding loads on the spring at the lowest and highest equilibrium speed. That is nothing but, in the formula we are supposed to find S1 and S2. So those two are the load on the spring at minimum and maximum position. Then stiffness of the spring. Stiffness of the spring is small s, that is equal to S1 minus S2 divided by H, right? So in order to find all these, first we need to know what are the terms required in the formula. That is R1 and R2 is to be found out, because that is useful to find out centrifugal force also. That is useful to find out centrifugal force also. And then next we have first point. You just see the screen. Loads on the spring at the lowest and highest equilibrium speeds can be found out. Let S1, please correct it. S1 be the spring load at the lowest equilibrium speed, and S2 be the spring load at the highest equilibrium speed. So S1 and S2 we have defined what they are. Since ball arm and parallel to the governor axis and lowest equilibrium speed, minimum speed, that is N1 equal to 290 RPM. So in that case, what we are supposed to do now? R, minimum radius of rotation, is equal to R1 equal to 120 millimeter. That is given. Minimum radius of rotation is given. That is the fixed distance. So centrifugal force, if I am finding, Fc is equal to m omega square R1. Centrifugal force is m omega square R1, where m is mass of the ball given, fly ball 2.5 kg. Omega is given by 2 pi n by 60. 2 pi n by 60. We know this. So this 2 pi n1 by 60 is how much? We have calculated here. N1 is 290 RPM. Omega 1 is 2 pi into 290 divided by 60. That is 30.4 radians. So I am using it here in my formula as omega m into m is 2.5 kg. Omega 1 is 30.4 radians per second square. Radians per second multiplied by the radius of rotation R1. R1 is 0.12 meter. So this is into 0.12 meter. This is 0.12. Please correct it. 0.12 meter. Then now observe here. We are supposed to find similarly what is the radius of rotation at the second instance. N2 is known, maximum speed is known. We are interested in finding R2. R2 is the radius of rotation at the highest equilibrium speed. So radius of rotation at N2, 310 RPM, can be found out using the formula. That formula is what? H equal to R2 minus R1 into Y by X. So this is the height of the governor. H is given, sleeve lift is given. How much is it? 15 millimeter. So I will write it as 0.015 meter. Then R2 we are supposed to find out. R1 is known. What is R1? 0.12 meter into Y by X. Y is given as 0.12 meter or 120 millimeter. That is sleeve arm. Then ball arm is given as 0.08. X is given, vertical arm. So we make use of these two and write out what is the value of radius of rotation at the maximum speed, that is 0.4 to 1425, 0.1425 meter. Then centrifugal force at corresponding radius of rotation R2 is equal to Fc2 is equal to m omega 2 square into R2. What is m here? Mass of the ball. What is omega 2 here? Omega 2 is, we have calculated at maximum speed. What is it? Maximum speed 310 RPM. So therefore the value of omega 2 is equal to 2 pi n2 by 60. N2 is 310. That gives us 32.5 radians per second. 32.5 radians per second. So making use of this data, I will find out the value of Fc2, that is centrifugal force at that instant. What is the centrifugal force at that instant? M is 2.5 kg, omega 2 is 32.5, and radius of rotation we have just calculated, that is 0.1425, and that is equal to 376 Newton. This is force at centrifugal force at maximum radius of rotation. So when I say this, I have to move to the next step, that is at a minimum position I have to form the relation at a minimum position. At a minimum position, what is it? Both the ball arm and sleeve arm are vertical and horizontal, right? So now this R, distance of a fulcrum end from the governor axis, is equilibrium position. So we have considered R itself as equal to R1. So that is our minimum radius of rotation. That is very important data in the problem. You can underline in your notes what you have written down or whatever is it, or make a note of it, that at equilibrium speed, the minimum radius of rotation is given. Therefore, the minimum radius of rotation is R1 equal to 120 millimeter. So they have told it is an equilibrium position. Therefore, we are supposed to neglect the obliquity of arms. That means wherever in the formula we have derived, y1 was y2 equal to whatever it was there, we write it as y, and x1 and x2 wherever it was there, we will write it as equal to x. Clear? Now, what are the forces here? One is centrifugal force at the ball. One more force is what? Mass of the ball into acceleration due to gravity. And the third one is mass of the sleeve plus spring force S1 divided by 2 at the point where the sleeve is having contact with the bell crank lever or sleeve arm. Now, when I take moment about the point, fulcrum point O, I am taking moment about this point. Fc1 is the force, and distance from here to the perpendicular distance from here to the fulcrum point is given by x. So that is one moment, that is clockwise moment. Coming to another force, mb into g. So this is acting exactly at the point where fulcrum end is considered. So there is no perpendicular distance. So this force is neglected, or it is almost zero. Then we have mg plus s1 by 2 acting at a perpendicular distance of equal to y, that is 80 millimeter, and this is acting in clockwise direction. So this is one force fc1 into x. This is another force mg plus s1 by 2 into y, which are equal and opposite moments. So I'll write it on one side, mg plus s1 divided by 2 on left hand side, and fc1 into x is acting on the other side. Then rearrange it. 2 I will transfer to the right hand side, and y was there multiplied with this. I have transferred it to the other side. So we will get formula as 2 fc1 into x by y. So m value I know, mass of the sleeve is given, right? So this is equal to 0. Y sleeve is equal to 0. Compared to the force S1, m will be very much negligible. Mass of the sleeve, capital M, is approximately equal to 0 because S1 will be very high, 831 Newton. You can see here. Right? So in most of the problems, we will be neglecting unless it is given. Even in this problem also they have not given. You can see that in any of the data, you can see here mass of the sleeve is not given. Mass of the sleeve is negligible considered to anything, but mass of ball will be there, that is 2.5 kg, small m, right? Now, therefore, substitute it here. We have calculated FC1. FC1 centrifugal force was equal to 27 Newton. That is from the first formula I have calculated. Then FC1 equal to 277 Newton. X and Y values I know 0.12 and 0.08. When I substitute these things, I'll get the value of S1. What is this S1? This is the force of spring acting at a minimum position on the sleeve. So if the sleeve has to raise above, this S1 or 831 Newton has to be overcome, or it has to be more than that. So that can be achieved only when centrifugal force is more or speed of rotation is more, then only the arm will be moving above. If it is less, then arm will be moving in the downward direction. So that's how we ascertain the different positions, right? Then second position, at highest position, they at n2 or omega 2, what do we have again? FC2 is present here, FC2. So here radius of rotation is not same, 120 millimeter is not same. This is now fixed radius of rotation. R2 is more, we have found out R2. R2 was equal to how much? R2 we had found out. Anybody, can you just check if you are writing down? What is R2 we have found out? 0.1425 meter. 0.1425 meter is our radius of rotation. One 0.1425 meter is radius of rotation. Then, so making use of that R2, I have found out FC2. Therefore, now this force FC2, centrifugal force, acting at a perpendicular distance of x2. Perpendicular distance of x2. So since at equilibrium position x2 is equal to x, I do not know the value of theta 2 also. Therefore, what I am doing is considering x2 is equal to x and y2 is equal to y. So at this equilibrium position where approximately it is equal to 0, FC2 is one centrifugal force acting at a perpendicular distance of y. Another force is mg plus s2 divided by 2 is acting at perpendicular distance of y. E is in clockwise direction compared to FC2. This is in acting in anti-clockwise direction. So mb into g, mass of the ball into g, will be obviously 0 because a1 into a1 and a2 equal to 0 because it becomes vertical and horizontal. So in such case, when I substitute it here, in the given formula, what do I get? M into g is 0. S2 I have supposed to find 2 FC2 into x by y, like in the previous case. FC2 I had calculated. I had obtained how much? Centrifugal force is 376 Newton. Centrifugal force is 376 Newton. So substitute it here. FC2 is 376. X and y values you substitute. So spring force is now S2 at maximum position is 1128 Newton. 1128 Newton. So if I am making use of this, to find out the value of, what do we say? Stiffness. We are making use of this to find out the stiffness. What is stiffness? S equal to S2 minus S1, spring force at maximum position minus spring force at minimum position divided by H, height of the governor, or what you call it as sleeve lift. Sleeve lift is 1128 minus 831 by 15, and that is equal to 19.8 Newton per millimeter. So H I have substituted in millimeter, therefore this is 1128 minus 831 divided by 15 is 19.8 Newton per millimeter. You please observe this. So stiffness of the spring is measured in Newton per millimeter. So this is obtained by finding S1 and S2 and then FC1 and FC2. So R2 we had found out. So if you find out all these things, then only you will be able to find out the value of stiffness of the spring. Right. So this is an important problem and you can get similar problems. Problems are similar to this where everything has to be calculated with what we had done earlier. Right. So if anybody has any doubts, you are free to ask. I have just unmuted everyone. If you are supposed to inquire anything about this, please let me know. ಯಾರಿಗಾರು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you please ask me now itself. This first problem. ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು. My suggestion is I have already sent you the notes in the group. So you better write what happened in the previous class and what will be happening in the today's class, because when I start explaining, you can just go through it. Otherwise, you will not follow. You cannot write all the 36 pages in a single day and submit me. I'll be asking you to submit the whole notes as well as some assignments also. So it is better you keep a record of it. ಬರಿತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು ಆವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರ್ದಾರು ಕೇಳಕ್ಕಿದೆಯಾ? Anybody, if you want to ask anything, you are free to ask.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, highest position ಇದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
See, okay. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿಸಿರೋದೇನಿದೆ ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ನೇ. It is the same vertical and horizontal position itself, but radius of rotation changes. R2 changes and it is not equal to R. So that's why what I have written is, it is an inclined position. That is, it is changing 0.12 ಮತ್ತು 0.14 ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇರಬಹುದು? 120 millimeter and 140 millimeter ಗೆ very small variation. So in that sense, theta will be very small. Or I can say that we are neglecting obliquity effect. We are neglecting obliquity effect means this x2 will be equal to x and y2 will be equal to y and a1 will be equal to a2. That is equal to 0. So this ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ವರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಹಾರಿಜಾಂಟಲ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಬಿಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಥೀಟಾ. ದಟ್ ಥೀಟಾ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ close to 0, 1 degree or 2 degree, which will not make much difference. So because 290 rpm ಮತ್ತೆ 310 rpm ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಹಾ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು? 20 rpm ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So when you actually practically do this, you will come to know that, say 290 rpm is minimum speed, 310 rpm is maximum speed. So sleeve lift 15 millimeter ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1 centimeter sleeve ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 1 centimeter ಸ್ಲೀವ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು? 0.12. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ 0.142 ಅಂತಿದೆ. 0.142 ಮತ್ತೆ 0.12 ಗೆ ಏನ್ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಆಯ್ತು? 120 ಮಿಲಿಮೀಟರ್ 140 ಮಿಲಿಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ
ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
10 ಅಥವಾ 20 ಮಿಲಿಮೀಟರ್. 10 ಅಥವಾ 1 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೊಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧದಿಂದ ಈಚೆಗೆ 1 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್, ಈ ಕಡೆಗೆ 1 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. therefore its position is not much changing, as well as centrifugal force is also not much changing. Centrifugal force FC1 ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು? 277 Newton, whereas FC2 is 376 Newton. 100 Newton ಅಂದ್ರೆ 10 kg force, almost 10 kg force ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is not varying by larger amount ಅಂತ. therefore we are assuming it as it is almost close. Neglecting obliquity ಅಂತ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಇಕ್ಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಕ್ಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್, ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಬ್ಲಿಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಸರ್.
Okay, you write down the problem or you try a new problem, you will come to know. ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದ್ರು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಲಿಕ್ವಿಟಿ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಓಕೆ,
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್? ಯಾರಿಗಾರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಯಾ? So unless you write and practice these problems, solve on your own, you will not come to know easily. It will be just a story like thing if I am explaining here, right? Okay, so we are left with only 10 minutes. I will just go to the next problem. Right. So in this problem, I'll just give outline. You can try on your own, and I will try to explain if in the next problem also. A spring-loaded governor of Hartnell type has arms of equal length. It has got equal length, means what do you understand by this? X is equal to Y. X and Y are same. Arms of equal length. Length of a ball arm and sleeve arm both are same. Then next thing is the masses rotate in a circle of 130 millimeter diameter. So radius is not 130 millimeter, diameter of rotation of the balls is 130 millimeter. So if I'm supposed to find radius, that is half of it, that is 65 millimeter. We do not know whether it is minimum position or maximum position. So please understand this. They have given the diameter of radius of diameter of the rotation of the fly balls. It is not the radius then. So this data has to be read properly and noted down. When the sleeve is in the mid position, when the sleeve is in the mid position means maximum position is this, minimum position is this. So at the mid position, this is at the mid position, vertical and horizontal, equilibrium position, the ball arms and sleeve arms are vertical. That is x equal to y, that is one condition. Another condition is x1 equal to x2 equal to x and y1 equal to y2 equal to y, right? The equilibrium speed for this position is 450 rpm. This is mean speed. This is mean speed r. It is not n1 or n2. It is mean speed n, 450 rpm. Neglecting speed, taking friction into account. Friction has to be considered. 5% of the mid position speed. 5% of n. 5% of n is the speed at the mid position. Friction, if I am considering, the mass of the sleeve is 4 kg and the friction may be considered equivalent to 30 Newton at the sleeve. So frictional force is given in this problem. In the previous problem, frictional force was not given. Here, frictional force is given as equal to 30 Newton. So where I have to add this, wherever there is capital M into G, I have to add and subtract M. For minimum speed, I have to write minus F. For maximum speed, I have to write it as plus F. Right? The maximum sleeve movement is to be 25 millimeter. Maximum sleeve movement is H equal to 25 millimeter at the maximum variation of speed, that is at maximum speed, taking friction into account. Friction is F. 5% there is increase in the speed due to the friction. The mass of the sleeve is 4 kg. What is this mass of the sleeve? Capital M. In the previous problem it was not given, but in this problem they have given the sleeve. So you have to consider the value of capital M. And the friction may be considered, the friction may be considered equivalent to 30 Newton at the sleeve. You are supposed to find the power of the governor must be sufficient to overcome the friction by 1% change in speed. 1% change in speed means 450 rpm is the mean speed. If it has to rise by 1%, what is 1% rise in this? It has to be 0.01 W, 0.01 times increase in it. And 1% decrease means 0.01 W decrease from the mean position. So one is, let us say, at a mean position, at a mean angular velocity, it is 47.23. Minimum speed will be 46.6 radians per second, that is 1% decrease. Maximum speed will be 1, that is percent increase, that is 47.6 radians per second. So taking these two important things, I can find out what is N1 and N2 and also omega 1 and omega 2. So either of these two things you can do it. Then you are supposed to determine the neglecting the obliquity effect of arms. You are supposed to determine the each rotating mass, that is mass of the ball itself is not given in this problem. This is a typical problem, right? So mass of the ball itself is not given. So in the formula we are substituting and finding out what is M, small m, mass of the ball. Then second thing is spring stiffness in Newton per millimeter. That is small s we are supposed to find, which is equal to S2 minus S1 by H. So that is the only relation which is relating our things. Therefore I can make use of it. So in order to find that, we have to find S1 and S2, that is spring force. Then determine the initial compression in the spring. Initial compression means H1, because that is the first compression at minimum speed, and that will be equal to capital S1 divided by small s, or what we call it as K. Initial compression or spring small s is equal to S1 divided by H1. So if I use S1, capital S1 and small h1, I'll obviously find out the value of the compression in the spring. So that's how we can find out. So if you want to try, I'll give some hints here. So mass of the ball is unknown. So since the first thing is you need to calculate the speed at different position. So first condition noted is x equal to y. Diameter is given, radius of rotation we are finding, that is r. Mean speed is given 450 rpm. So omega 2 pi n by 60 is 47.23 radians per second. H is known, height of the sleeve, or they have given it as equal to sleeve travel, that is equal to 25 millimeter, right? So sleeve movement, maximum sleeve movement is 25 millimeter. Mass of the sleeve is given, capital M is given here. Therefore, write down that also. Friction is given 30 Newton. You have to write out that also. Then calculate the value of omega. Omega 1% speed change means you have to add omega 1, that is new speed will be equal to old omega plus 1% of the original speed, 0.01 omega. And omega 2, if I am supposed to find out, then I have to decrease the minimum speed. If I have to find out, I have to subtract here. and maximum speed I have to add by 0.01 W. That's what is done here in the case. So if you find omega 1 and omega 2, you can find out FC1 and FC2. So FC1 and FC2, if you are able to find out, then you can find out the value of S at that instant. S is what? The stiffness of the spring and radius of rotation. So S in terms of speed you are using here. Another speed is maximum speed at the maximum speed. So find out the stiffness at the first instance. Find out the stiffness at the first instance. Second thing is find out the, considering friction, what will be the speed change, and then minimum and maximum radius of rotation, because we need minimum and maximum radius of rotation to find out FC1 and FC2. And once we are found with that, new FC1 dash and FC2 dash will be there. Then we have S1 and S2, spring force at minimum and maximum position. Again, using the same formula which we used in the previous case, we find out S1, S2. Once we find out S1 and S2, I can find out stiffness in the spring. S equal to S2 minus S1 by H. And at last, I told you, initial spring compression or initial compression in spring is given by H, that is H1 equal to S1. S1 is the spring force at initial case or minimum speed. Therefore, capital S1 I am using, divided by stiffness. Small s is stiffness of the spring, or K I usually call it as. Both if you divide, you will come to know 33.2 millimeter is the stiffness of the spring. Right? So we'll deal this problem in the next class, no problem. But you have a look at this problem before you come to class and keep it ready. Right? So don't waste time. Write all these things as notes and try more problems. Okay. So the meeting will be ending in a minute. So if there is anything, you please reach me out. We had some 49 students, 49 participants from both the sections. Okay. If there is anything I can help you, please reach to me. But keep writing the notes and keep it ready. I may be asking at any moment. Okay.